Today, let's talk about what did I do to last week's video. I've got a word of the day for you. I'll show off some road trip footage from my Insta360. We'll discuss my stock portfolio for just a minute. And stay tuned till the end for a quote about change and how it can improve our lives. Well, right off the bat, I want to talk about last week's video. I learned just after I'd uploaded it, and one of my viewers watched it, and they commented to me, they said, hey, your audio is just a little bit off. And I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. It turns out that, I used apps that I wasn't used to. One of the first apps that I wasn't used to was I used the camera app from Windows 10 to capture the webcam footage. And it's possible it was a daisy chain of problems because you had the actual Insta360 that was being used for capturing the video, then you had the cable running to the computer, and so you've got the USB buffers, then you have this Windows app, the camera app, and we have I don't have any idea how that actually does its encoding, and it's possible that somewhere in that line, that shift was created and it messed up the video a little bit. So, lesson learned, I'm going to do better in the future, and here we go. The word of the day is nepotism, which is a favoritism, putting people in a job or an important position based on kinship. In the background, I'm going to be showing off some footage of me flying around in Flight Simulator. I chose a few various places. I wanted to fly along the mountains inside the canyon areas of New Zealand. And then I went and checked out the Sydney Opera House. And I took a look at San Francisco Bay Harbor. Last week we took a road trip and we mounted the Insta360 with the 360-degree module onto the dashboard of my car. And I had the settings set up wrong in the camera, so I didn't get very long clips of recording because it was overheating the camera, and that will happen with cameras, is they will overheat over time, and as a result of overheating, they will stop recording and start to cool down. During this road trip, I captured a moment that I thought was awesome, because as we were driving up a mountain road, all of a sudden, the road just disappeared, because it crested the hill. And as I got up to the crest of the hill, it was just whoosh, a valley. And it was just so amazing to see it. It was almost like we had just driven off a cliff because the crest of the hill dipped down so quickly. But to see this whole valley right in front of us, it was just awesome to see. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. So looking at stocks this week, stocks did fall a little bit, and it's funny to watch all the videos on YouTube because people all over the place are like, oh, the next stock market crash, oh, red, 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 red. Anyway, that's not a bad thing. When I look at it, even though stocks have fallen 5% this week, it means that I'm now getting a discount on everything I buy. So I'm going to keep on buying because if I can buy more stocks at a lower price, it's always a good thing, isn't it? So this week, even though my portfolio shows a red -5% growth, it's not realized gain. It is just showing me that if I buy during this period of time, I'm going to get a better value per penny of what I pay for than I would on a green day. Even though green days are still good. We all like green days. Anyway, to send you off with this week, I'm going to send you with a quote from Jim Rohn. It's a little bit hard to interpret, but let's see how we do today. What he said was, if you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change the world outside of you, but you do need to change the world within yourself. To have more, you need to become more. What I get from what really fascinates me about this particular clip is that he's not trying to say, oh, you're the problem. He is trying to remind us that in our generation, we've moved from a generation where we see a problem, we solve a problem, to we see a problem, we complain about problem, we Facebook about problem, we Twitter about problem, we Instagram about problem, and then we do absolutely nothing about the problem.
he's reminding us in our day and age that we need to take the time to say, yeah, there might be a problem out there, but how can I make that work for me? And when you start looking at it with this mindset, you're changing yourself. Because when you change to adapt, you will find that the world around you becomes more acceptable. And I'm not just saying like, oh, accept your place in the world. I'm saying that if you can adapt to what's going on around you, and yeah, politics look like they're total craziness right now, and everybody's against the whole one side, and everybody hates the other side, and people are praising the one side. While the opportunities for excuses are just infinite, if we look inward towards ourselves and we find solutions that can benefit us, we can get through all these crazy things, even in the politics, or even in money, or even just in our daily lives. We can find ways of making subtle changes to ourselves that will make these problems into assets for us. That's all I've got for you today. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and maybe check out one of these.